GYMDAD Fitness, and today we have the Blackstone Labs Blackout Stack. Now this is my own name I'm giving it here, so I don't know if Blackstone Labs likes this or not, but maybe they might already have a name for the stack, but also I'm called Everything Goes Black when you're on this stack, man, it's crazy. And we're gonna get into this, but first before we get going, I mentioned this on my last review, still got the sample giveaway going, still got size large dark wash shirts, and then also the one I'm rocking right now. I'll use the signature logo unless requested. If you want my actual YouTube logo, I can throw that on there too. It's the same damn thing, just has the reviews at the bottom, but still quite a bit of sizes left for the charcoal wash. But we're gonna get more things coming in too. This has been a big hit. Originally, I was just going to sell what I had and then just focus on the reviews. Reviews are always number one. It's for my mindset is the t-shirt stuff was just a fun little cute thing to do, but it's gotten such people keep asking me when more stuff's coming in stock, so I think we're gonna reload just for you guys, because originally, like I said, I was just gonna sell just kind of like do this as a thing to kind of spike the channel and get it going. That was the game plan from the get-go. Was never the long-term game plan was never to be a t-shirt sales guy, but it's received such positive feedback. I'm gonna keep it rolling, so make sure you check that out, gymdadfitness.com. And when you order, you make sure you put in the notes that you want the sample deal. And then if you don't worry, just shoot me an email and all. And most of the time I do email you and be like, hey, do you want the samples? I just don't want to send samples to someone that's not wary of it. And also give me your tolerance range. So tell me your max tolerance, so I know what pre's to send you. But anyway, we are going to get into, I wanted to do something different because I could just review the Blackstone Labs Arson on its own or the Hyper Reloaded on its own. But why not? Most of these times we like to kind of play with these things. And for me personally, I'm not like a fat burner individual. I honestly don't do cardio right now. I mean, I keep my diet tight. I keep my rest down. Am I against cardio? I think it's a bad thing. No, I probably should do a little bit more of it, to be honest. But I believe in training as all out, balls to the wall, almost like a Mike Mincer style, as hard as you can, except for I train a lot more frequently than his protocol takes, because I don't do cardio. So I go 7 days a week. I do 2 leg days to increase the calorie burn, and I just eat insanely clean, extremely disciplined when it comes to the diet. I ate all that fast food and stuff as a kid, all the time, like every meal. So it never really became that much of a temptation for me. And so anyway, why would I review a fat burner on its own when I don't really do cardio? I wanted to use this thing as a pre-workout, and so this is what I'm going to do, is tell you about it, tell you how to stack it, and why I didn't ever just run it by itself. Okay, so first off, the Arson, it has 200 milligrams of caffeine. It's a complete prop blend, and honestly, there's a bunch of things that can increase thermogenics in here. And there's different types of peppers, different types of plants, but the main ones, as far as we're concerned with the pre-workout effect, is going to be things like araya, 2-amino, caffeine anhydrous, and then also alpha-yo, and then GYMDAD HCl. So caffeine, 200 milligrams, we know that for sure. They've disclosed that to me. But just like SpongeBob and the Krabby Patty formula, Blackstone Labs is keeping the secret formula safe. So we do not know any other things. Now, from what I've researched, the DMHA seems to be 125, and then the alpha-yo seems to be around 2 to 2.5. And after usage, I'm going to roll with that because that feels about right. So stacking the Dust X, you have 550 caffeine. Now, that's on the high end? Don't hear me out. I really do agree. It's definitely up there. But after doing the heaping scoop, I was kind of like, man, heaping scoop, that's almost like the flat scoop is almost like damn near half another scoop. So that's almost like a scoop and a half of this pre. So technically, I ran 350 plus 150, 400, 500 plus a little bit 50 more. So I was probably running 525 when I did the heaping scoop. I don't really like to go over 500, but in this, what for 50 milligrams, is it really going to be that big of a damn deal, especially for a high stim Saturday? This was a special occasion workout. I'm not ripping this on a Monday and training for 1 hour on this stack. This was a high stim Saturday. I was in there for 2 hours, just absolutely destroying it, hit multiple body parts on this thing. So I made sure to really get my bang for my buck. And so you got 550 caffeine, 2-ish grams of 2-amino or alpha-yo, and then 150 on the flat. And this was a flat level Dust X. This was not a heaping scoop when I did this thing. I grammed it out to exactly that 13.5 grams. And so the 2-amino at 150 plus 125, so you're getting 275. So we've seen 2 amino in products such as Dark Labs Halloween up to 350, up to 300, and there might even be some at like 350. But anyway, we all know 2 amino sourcing is it's all dependent upon that. And Blackstone Labs is very, very solid. Is it the best of the best? I don't know. I wouldn't put it up there. To me, still Cocoa Labs and Dark Labs reign supreme. But this is one. This is to me a cut above many other of those like unique 2 amino pre's that come to the market of unknown brands. This is a trustworthy one. It's a consistent 2 amino, and it seems to always hit. It seems to provide a very solid euphoric foundation combined with a decent happy mood, decent happy buzz, but it's not like the same, it's not like that Cocoa Labs happy as a clown type 2 amino or the Dark Labs balance of sense of urgency and positive vibes that provides, but still really, really good cut of 2 amino here. And so, this is just on label, it's loaded, combining all these three things. And then to throw the hype reloaded on top of it with the extra glycerol, extra citrulline malate, and then also it's got the alpha GPC, the horny goat weed for test, and the norvaline potassium. Like it's just a stack made in heaven. And let me tell you, this thing did not disappoint. Coming off an injury, this thing was straight buzzing. First time I hit shoulders in 5 weeks, and if that's telling you anything. I mentioned this in before in a review coming up called Juiced. If you guys remember that one, the injury, how things like sometimes like if the pre's hitting so damn good, it can kind of give you that confidence to kick it to another gear. And so we've all been there before. We're getting through an injury and we're like on the cusp of being ready to like train that body part again, and we just have to get over that mental hurdle. Well, this one got me there, man. It had no questions about it. Just the thermogenic factor was very, very apparent. To be honest, when I first took the product, I would say like 30 to 40 minutes in, I was a little concerned that like it wasn't gonna, like it was weird. It was like 550 milligrams, but this is first thing in the morning. I've ate and I've stayed hydrated. I drank my hydration drink. I consumed quite a bit of water, had a good meal, had a good carbohydrate meal beforehand. I wouldn't say I was like wanting more, but I was kind of like, this is really, really nice, really smooth. But like, I was kind of expecting this to be a little scarier, but just be patient. Cause I would say, so I also, side note here, before I get in too deep, bust this thing open. Don't be a pussy. Just open the pill, dump it on your tongue, and then drink the pre-workout down. Because if you drink this thing like a pill, it's gonna hit you in way too awkward of phases. Like the pill's gonna take time to dissolve, and so the pre's gonna hit really soon, and then all of a sudden that the stems on top of the pill are gonna finally digest, like as you're like damn near halfway done with your workout, and then that's gonna kick in, and then it's just gonna be all sorts out of whack. So bust a pill open and just dump it in your mouth and wash it down with this delicious Dust X, because it is so dang tasty. And because even when you do this, there's still a little bit of a stagger. Even then, I still felt like all the thermogenic heat elements kick in a little bit later than I was expecting. I would say at the peak of my workout, probably about 50 minutes in, is when everything came together. And it was on the cusp. It was like like I wouldn't want anything more. The alpha yohimbine provided a lot of heat, a lot of urgency, but no dripples, noses, no anxiousness, nothing negative. The caffeine energy was probably the star of the show. It kind of reminded me of just a step down from when I ran Dark Labs Crack Purple. That's a good thing too, because Dark Labs Crack Purple felt a little too caffeinated for me. This one, which I think was about at 550 as well. This one was like, I was like, shit, this is a lot. This is definitely getting me going. I'm insanely on one right now, but it wasn't in like a negative way whatsoever. If I was training maybe legs, it might have been an overkill, but the fact I was hitting shoulders and then also some, what I hit shoulders and a little bit of triceps at the end, it was just perfect. Especially for an insane Saturday morning workout. Like I really can't think of a more amazing stack for a high stem Saturday for someone that's an experienced stim user. Is a stack something for everyone? Absolutely not. Like I think you got to know who you are and know what your tolerance is. But if Arson's something you want to try, you could still run this thing on its own with a pump formula. It's only got 200 grams of caffeine. So just side note there, it's not gonna be any, but the alpha yohimbine and the yohimbine is gonna be enough urgency and enough stimulation plus all the fat burners that you're not gonna be missing anything too much. Maybe that would be a heck of a weekday workout with stacking this thing with a nice light 2 amino, nice light caffeine, but with a nice full pump formula as well. And that would just be absolutely amazing. So it's not like the Arson is only for like the alpha dog stim junkies that want to like stack like a madman. But anyway, I know what people are thinking, and I know what they want to do when they see a label like Dust X, where it's like it's really solid, amazing foundation, but you're just kind of like, huh, I wonder if this could be pushed a little bit more. Because big companies like Blackstone Labs, they kind of have to market to like the mass majority of stim junkies. They can't just make something that the top 2% can take, because yet they have to think about them from like a revenue perspective. They're thinking about the whole squad. They're not thinking about just the insane alpha dogs out there. So they can't go making something that's going to blow most people's heads off. And so why not play around with a few of their products and kind of make a stack of your own. And then how I score the stack on this score one, Euphoria, I would still go ahead and give this thing a good solid, I would give it, if I could do like a half red bar, like it was still extremely euphoric, don't get me wrong, but like a heaping scoop of Dark Labs Halloween still provided more whole euphoria for me. So even so, giving it the full red bar, saying it's equals like something like Halloween, I don't know if I'd go as far as that. I'll do full green, and maybe I'll do a touch of red, because it was just slightly in there with that extra 100 milligrams of 2-amino. And then as far as the sense of urgency, absolutely perfect. Full red bars, it was amazing. Sweat factor, full red bars. I was sweating like crazy, man. It's like I've mentioned before by saying it's sweating like a grease monkey on the 4th of July. And man, it was nuts. I was drenched from head to toe. I looked like an absolute lunatic when I was in there. And overall, tunnel vision focus, I'll say it went up maybe 1 notch from the Dust X review. I would give this thing for tunnel vision focus a good solid 9 out of 10. It's still not on that level of like, some of these sticky label pre's, which they have destroyed the scoring for tunnel vision focus. It is so hard to get the full red or even the full green now. So I'm gonna go and give this thing just about full green bars on the tunnel vision focus. So in the raw energy, we got the pumps. The pumps on this stack were nuts. Alpha yohimbane for some reason always gives me a really vascular pump. This is something I really want to spend some time on talking about. So now I'm going to get to the hype reloaded. So the hype reloaded is simple and very effective. It's exactly what you need at nice dosages, where it's like sometimes if you do the overload on the citrulline, it turns into more of like a gorilla, like just sleeve busting, bouncer at the doors, crossing his arms type of pump. But like if citrulline's dosed correctly and at a nice like little solid dose, combined with the right vascular elements, such as alpha always does the trick for me. So I thought this thing was the most perfect, simple, to the point, just what you need type pump formula for an insane vascular type of workout. And for shoulder day, that's a freaking awesome day to have a vascular style workout, because everyone always gets the shoulder veins going, the forearm veins going. So it's one of those ones, I always like the vascular style pumps for shoulder day. And so that was like, there really couldn't have been a better stack for this one. A huge fan for Hype Reloaded. It really doesn't get enough love for it being such a simple formula. But, on its own, I don't know if it was really made to be like a rain on its own. It's not like you couldn't do it, but it definitely just seems like it's one of those things that just kind of stacks extremely well with all Dark Labs products. It's a simple label, so like there's not a lot of like collision between other ingredients and things like that are too like, it's not like you have too much going on or anything like that. And then there's, like I mentioned, with the Arson, it combines really well with the alpha yohimbane HCl, just giving you that vascular look in the gym too. So freaking amazing stack. Like, this one is really cool. This is a can't miss one. You can plug and play, try this with different things, stack the Arson, type of the hyper loaded, just take the hyper loaded Dust X, things like that. Probably looks like a freaking, I'm on payroll for Blackstone Labs giving this stack review here, but don't even have a damn code or anything like that for you guys for Blackstone. But this stuff's pretty widely available. NutriCartel, I think B-Moxie might have a few of the things here. Cross the Limits, I believe, has lots of things, and all 3 of those ones, the GYMDAD code works for you. But check this one out, man. All 3 of these are really awesome. Like, if you want to try it as a stack, or if you just want to get one of them standalone and try to stack it with something else or take it on its own or something like that. And I can see this being a badass cardio one. If like I wouldn't go taking the bottle suggest, it's a 60 caps in a bottle, 1 cap serving. It's one of those ones that tells you to do it morning and night. And I don't know, this is another reason why I don't do fat burners. Like, fat burners to me seem like something you should be running every single day. And in no way, shape, or form do I think I personally do not need to be running 2-amino every single day. I mean, I'm not going to tell you guys what you can and can't do, but I'm not following these instructions on this thing. Yeah, so we are not doing that personally. This thing is going to be used as a pre-workout exclusively. But if you're someone that likes to, so I never do like off-day cardio days. I used to, and I probably will in the future. But if you're someone that likes to do like off-day cardio days, and I could see myself, I used to do like sprints on the football field. I could see myself taking like one cap of one of these ones, and it would be absolutely perfect. Couldn't think of anything better than 200 milligrams of caffeine and a touch of 2-amino to get me locked in, focused, and then all those sweat factors in there. So am I going to review it like that for you? No, because that's not like what I do. So it's not my routine right now. So I could tell you like what it could possibly be used for and things like that. But I'm not going to adjust my whole routine just to show the review. But I can show you how I could use it in my rotation, and then kind of picture what other people could do as well. And you kind of be the deciding factor. But anyway, that's kind of how the Arson works and how I would suggest using that one. And how I kind of personally found a way to benefit from this one. And this one will be a fun one. I'll hold on to this one to stack. And like I said, when cardio comes in that future, I'm going to find a way to utilize that thing too. And then also the Dust X hyper loaded, man, can't get any better. If you want to look up the individual ingredients on the Arson, you can. There's a laundry list of them, but most of them, like I said, the key factors are the urea, which I really don't know. I couldn't really tell you. The urea, I guess, taking a look at the order, urea is first of everything, and so we know caffeine anhydrase is 200, so we know urea is at least more than 200. So I mean, it seems like there's a pretty solid dose of urea, 200 caffeine, 125 2-amino, around 2-ish alpha-O, and then you have HCl. That's alpha-O is like gentler, more sympathetic younger brother that's not going to be as aggressive, not going to have you tweaking out, not going to have you increasing that anxiety. It just adds a little bit of sense of urgency, a little bit of heat factor. And so those are the key points for this one. And then just a bunch of other items, a bunch of other different types of stems, leaves, fruits, extracts, peppers that kind of increase stomogenic factors. And they all really do work. It really does heat things up for sure. You're gonna be a walking, talking furnace on this one. So I don't want to discount any of those other factors. The fact that I didn't really go into this label breakdown of the Arson, but I wanted to make sure I stress that since I didn't give it its own review. And with the Dust X, I've already gave its own review on that, so I'm not going to break into the label too much. But the hyper loaded, I mentioned, good solid foundation with the pumps at 6 grams citrulline, 2 grams glycerol there. Then the alpha GPC for just a touch of focus, touch a little test boost at the horny goatweed, and the potassium and norvaline to wrap it all up. So I just wanted to give those their due respect since I'm not doing a full review on these ones. Once again, mentioned with this one, a little bit of a bitter aftertaste, so make sure that you chase it down with your Dust X. So almost like in reverse here. Usually we drink our stim package and then chase it with our pumps. We'll do the inverse here because the stim package here is the most delicious one I've had in a long time. But like, subscribe, and thanks for joining me on this stack review.